Hey everybody, welcome to our Best Eats episode here in Hue. On this episode, we're going to take you guys to 5 special locations where they serve some really amazing food that best showcases this location.
Hue is the ancient imperial city, so a lot of the dishes that you'll see today were actually from those royal times.
If you're wondering why we're starting this episode in a coffee shop right now, it's because it's actually storming outside.
Like torrential weather.
Anyway,
hope you enjoy it.
Let's go. So for our first dish, we're about to get the regional specialty called Bun Bo Hue. It's been recommended to us by Lee, who's our Airbnb host. What's secret about this place is it's only known to locals. They're only open from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. And what you need to look out for is the chair hem sign, which is right behind me. Inside Bun Bo Hue are tons of different ingredients, from congealed pig blood to pork slices, fish paw, crab cakes, pork ribs, and of course it's all topped off with herbs. That's an interesting broth. Now, I would have expected just a simple pork broth, but it's also got that crabby flavor in there. I'm gonna get a bite with as many things as I can now on it. I wouldn't say the flavors are overbearing, it's more subtle, but you got a lot of things going on in there. You got the sweetness from the pork broth, and this crab roe has added a lot of extra flavor to it. Let me try these pork ribs. Good amount of fat on them, and I think what's happened with these pork ribs is they've been used to create the stew, and so they've just taken on the broth flavor. A delicious dish and a fine way to start this morning.
Right now we're headed over to Hanh to get some Bún Thịt Nướng, which is grilled pork noodles, and it's a royal cuisine from ancient times. Hanh is a popular spot with both locals and tourists, and let's have a look at what's in this bowl. So here we've got some grilled pork, fresh salad, you can see the rice noodles down there. So what's special with this dish as well is this hot peanut, pork liver and sesame sauce here. Just gonna pour that right over the noodles. They've got really tiny spoons here, it's kind of like the size of a teaspoon. Let's get in for that bite though. Okay. So this is a cold noodle dish. We've got that really yummy pork that's quite lean and has a good chew to it as well. Mixed together with those fresh veggies, it's really yum. But together with that hot sauce, it's really peanutty. I can't quite taste that pork liver, but I'm sure it's all mixed in there and it's real good. All together, really yummy dish.
So I've got here a Banh Loc, and what this thing is a little piece of goodness wrapped in a banana leaf. It's made out of cassava and it's got some shrimps inside it as well. And it's one of the favorite things of Hue people to have as a local snack. So I'm gonna get in there and dip it in some sauce right now and give it a try. Wow, that's my first time trying this. And there is so many different flavors going on in there. You've got the shrimp, which kind of explodes with a whole bunch of sweetness and saltiness, and then wrapped around it is like, you know the jellies inside bubble tea? That's what it tastes like, but a lot of it. And then you get some hints of the banana leaf as well. That's an incredibly yummy dish.
Fun fact number 1, Hue was the capital in Vietnam twice in the past, but now the current capital is Hanoi since 1976.
Fact number 2, Hue is famous amongst its people for its local cuisine. It is over 1,000 royal dishes, and we're going to try some of them.
Final fact, for its historical value, Hue has been recognized as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And that's a wrap.
So yeah, we've been warned that weather here in Hue can be pretty crazy, and it certainly lived up to its name today. Right now we're here at Gok Bang Bao Ba Ku, and we're about to have another one of the things that you have to have when you're in Hue, which is rice cake. Come on into the store, let's show you around. So I figured it was pretty important for Yen and I to try all the different buns, especially since we're in Hue. This is the originator of these little fellas. And right now I've got here a bun ramen, and the unique thing about this one is that the crispy pork belly is actually on the bottom. On top you've got the rice flour with a little bit of the shrimp. It looks like a really tasty snack. I'm gonna give that a try now. Oh, really reminds me of like a street snack, because the bottom is really crispy, just like a chip, like a pork chip. And then the top is a lot more chewier and rubberier than any of the other buns that I've had before. It adds just a really nice combination together, and you're there actually chewing this thing for a long time before it actually dissolves all the flavors in your mouth. It's really yummy. The shrimp just add a tiny little hint of extra flavor on top.
And the one that I'm going to try is called Bun Bo, and that's unique to Hue. What it's made of is rice flour and tapioca flour. You've got here a pork skin, looks like a crispy one, some shrimp, and scallion oil, plus we've got some dipping sauce. Now you need to get enough of that sauce into it to give it that really nice combination of that flavor. You've got that mushy rice cake. You can taste a bit of that shrimpy flavor too, but mostly it's that pork skin that gives it that crisp. And altogether, sweet, tiny bit salty. And if you like rice cakes, you'll probably like this dish like me too.
So the final bun that we've got is bun nam, and what we have here is rice flour with some pork and some mushrooms and what looks like a little bit of scallion in there too. And it's flat, which is the unique thing of it. So you can just rip it off like that. Dunk it in a little bit of sauce here. Oh, that's beautiful. Pretty much just dissolves in your mouth as soon as you put it into it. And there's so much flavor from the banana leaf especially. Adds such a beautiful hint into the rice cake itself. And then the pork and mushrooms in there, it's just a little bit salty, not too much. Kind of reminds me of dim sums in Chinese food. It's really something that's excited us each time that we've seen people eat this in Hue. We're like, hey, I want one of those. So glad we could finally find a spot where they've got all these different varieties. So as you can see, weather conditions here aren't the best right now here in Hue, but that doesn't stop us. We're about to get another royal dish called com hen, which is mussel rice, right at this stop. And we had to walk through quite a lot of water and alleyways to get over here. I'm hoping it's going to be worth it though. This little mussel rice looks absolutely delicious. Not many people around when it's raining like this though, so we got the whole place to ourselves. As soon as I saw pictures of this dish, I knew I wanted to try it. And what it looks like is tiny little baby mussels on top of rice with a little bit of sauce. You got some pork crackling, some peanuts, basil. Let's see how this goes. The unexpected thing was, this is actually a cold dish. Now, the expected thing was, it's full of flavor. You got those crazy seafood flavors from the mussels. It tastes like they've been soaked in like a shrimp brine or something, because you get a lot of different sea flavors coming through. The crackling adds a really nice extra crunch, as well as the little peanuts. And the mussels themselves are a little bit chewier than the larger mussels that I'm used to. It's so full of flavor and it's delicious. There's a tiny tint of spice in there as well. This is a great dish, and I can see why the emperors liked it back in the day. You also get a little soup here. I feel like this is just the water that they use to boil the mussels.
Cleaning up because we got caught in this torrential rain. We had to walk back through the flooded water and onto the little bridge because there's no taxis allowed there. But for the love of food, gotta do what you gotta do, right? At this point, Peter and I decide to call it and head back to our hotel. This isn't the end though. The next day, we set out to try a specialty fried pancake called Bun Bo Hue, which is a different take on one of my favorite dishes from Hoi An, Bun Siu. Our first dish has arrived, and we've got here the nem lui, which is grilled pork. Now the difference here between the ones that we got in Da Nang is that it's on a lemongrass instead of just a regular wooden stick. Let's set up one of these rolls. Just like all the other places, you get a lot of fresh veggies. Get one of our sticks of meat, dip it in the sauce. Even though it looks quite similar to the ones that's in Da Nang, they're quite different. So here the sauce is a lot more peanutty and it's a bit more watered down. It's got sesame seeds as well. And the taste of that meat is still quite the same as in the pork paste with the fresh veggies, but yeah, a bit more of a subtle flavor, I would say. So these Bun Bo Hue rice pancakes are very different to the bun siu, even though they look very similar, down to the way that you eat them and even what's inside them. It's still very crispy and very hot. Basically what you do here is chuck it in a bowl. We've got here some prawns, pork, bean sprouts, carrots. And the first thing that you can tell, which is really different to bun siu, is that there's a smoky flavor to this, which is actually the way that the royals used to eat, giving it that royal touch. It's yummy, very crispy too. talking to the nice guys here at Hong Hai. It's a family-run business, so if you're visiting the Imperial City, you should definitely check this place out. Tastes really different to bun siu, but also really yum.
Yo, and that wraps things up here in Hue.
We hope you've enjoyed it. The food here has been like no other that we've tried in Vietnam so far.
Yeah, it's definitely got a little extra something that makes it special.
Maybe it's that royal touch. I don't know. So, my turn to ask, what was your favorite?
For me, it was the bun pie. I really like the crispy take on the bun shios. What about for you?
For me, it had to be that circular plate dish, which was the bun bios. They were really yum, especially with that sauce. Yeah, loved it.
Guys, we hope you've enjoyed this episode.
And if you want to help support our channel, want to see more of our adventures, whether it's food or travel, please give us those likes, the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you don't miss an episode.
Catch ya.
So see you next time.